only a program record 3 turnovers. If they can control the basketball with their all-conference level guard, Jaland Lowe back at the point, they should be in business. Panthers going to win the opening tap. Lowe with it. Panthers in their home whites and Syracuse in the road orange. They come out in man-to-man defense on Pitt's first possession of the night.
They're going to attack Eddie Lampkin as well. His size on the offensive end, they're going to have trouble guarding him on the offensive end. They want to make him guard on the defensive end of the floor, expend as much energy as possible, maybe even get him in foul trouble if they can.
Guillermo Diaz-Graham ran into that brick wall. Eddie Lampkin missed the shot. And Syracuse has its 9th different starting lineup of the season. That is the most for this program since at least 1975-76. Oh, by the way, that was the first year Jim Boeheim was the head coach. Jair Davis misses in close. Here come the Panthers with numbers. Zack Austin off the shot fake. Tried to find the rolling Cam Corrin, but he stopped rolling.
Yeah, good look by Zack Austin. That's on Cam Corrin. He's made up for it with the steal here, but he's got to roll there.
Corrin stole it from Starling, who stole it right back. Lucas Taylor gives it back to Starling. Jaquan Carlos back into the starting lineup for Syracuse with Elijah Moore out with a foot injury. And Syracuse is on the board first on the corner 3 by Starling.
I wanted the adjustment. You game plan not knowing that Jaquan Carlos is starting. I think you set your ball screen defense thinking that's going to be JJ starting at the top, and it's not. Got to make sure you get out to him in the closeout. You don't want to get him going. He's on a heater, scoring over 20 a game in the last 3 games.
No, Randolph, Pittsburgh had just the 3 turnovers when they met 3 weeks ago. They've already got 2 here tonight. Steal by Carlos.
Turnovers. Yeah, just unforced. No reason for some of these turnovers here.
And as you saw, Pittsburgh has gone back to its more customary starting lineup with Brandon Cummings coming off the bench. Eddie Lampkin gets the roll late in the shot clock. It's 5-0 Orange.
Didn't want to double. I just think they're going to have to. He's patient inside. He's going to back you down until you decide, show your hand. The guards got to dig. Someone has to come over and rotate. They got to help on the front line. That's a huge mismatch for Eddie Lampkin inside.
Starling goes for the steal and forces another turnover.
And no one's coming. He's looking and reading it. You've got to fake. If you come too late, he's already into his move there.
Well, Pittsburgh's coaches spent an awful lot of time at shoot-around today in how they're going to defend this man.
Yes. And again, he's going to force you to help. He's going to continue to dribble and attack. They've decided they want to go man-to-man and start.
And they repeatedly said he's going to try to get to his left shoulder, which he did there. And he also loves to pass out of the post.
And I think it's a smart move early to make him a scorer in lockdown on everyone else. If you double, he is a big-time passer of the basketball.
Jaland Lowe, excuse me, I'm sorry. Jaland Lowe took a shot to the face and play continued. He went from our side of the court to the other side, and I don't know, maybe it's a contact lens or something. Yeah, so he was trying to gather himself, and finally the whistle came. I think they had to get the officials' attention, and so Jalen's going to get that contact lens fixed. And in the meantime, into the game, young man who filled in admirably in the win over Miami, Brandon Cummings.
Beba Cummings was amazing, I thought, in the last game Saturday against Miami. Scoring double figures, 11 points. Didn't force anything. Got Pitt Panthers in their offense.
Kicked out of bounds off of Syracuse. Pitt will keep. You see the numbers on Saturday in the win over the Hurricanes by Cummings. And you know, you look at his efficiency on the offensive end. He has had a solid freshman year. He's had some highs and lows. He's had times where he's not been able to get off the bench, but all things considered, I think it's been a good freshman year for Cummings.
He has. When called upon, he started 2 games. He's been very efficient in those games. You've got to feel great about his future if you're Jeff Capel. And the highs and lows are going to come with your freshman. And he's playing behind 2 big-time guards here at Pitt.
His parents, Rennell and Brandy, often at the games. He's from nearby Midland, Pennsylvania. Ish Leggett leaves the runner short. There's a rebound for big number 44. Well, Adrian Autry has known J.J. Starling since he was in elementary school. coached against him when he was at Notre Dame, and not until he transferred to Syracuse did Red Autry realize just how fast he is with the basketball.
And you better corral him in transition. At his size and physicality, you can do nothing but foul him if you don't.
Off another Pitt turnover. Carlos's pass off the mark and into the Pittsburgh bench. The Panthers get it back. And we mentioned Adrian Red Autry, year number 2 as head coach at his alma mater, 52-year-old Harlem native. He was recruited by Wayne Morgan, longtime assistant under Jim Boeheim.
I think Red was born in North Carolina. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, raised in New York, but he's born in North Carolina.
We're accustomed to hearing people like Michael Jordan and Carmelo Anthony born in Brooklyn but raised down south.
Yeah.
But you're saying Red was the opposite.
Red was the opposite.
How about that? Starling is fouled by Leggett. It's been all orange to get things started as Pittsburgh has already committed 4 turnovers.
They have. It's been a defensive end of the floor for the Orange to get them going here. Sluggish start for the Pitt Panthers.
Four out. The Panthers desperately need a winning streak. That was what Joey Brackett's said today in our build-up to this ball game. Jair Davis backing down the much smaller Cummings, able to get to his spot and then finish on the follow.
You can see Pitt made a conscious effort. They're not doubling in the post, but when Davis is on any of their guards on a switch, you're going to have to come and help. Jair Davis is a big physical forward.
Pittsburgh remains scoreless. Jaland Lowe remains on the Pitt bench after what appeared to be a contact lens issue. Cummings stays in the ball game on the point. We also see Amsal Delilich, who also was very, very good in the win over Miami, and right on cue he takes it to the bucket but missed it. He goes down in a heap, and we've got a whistle and a foul on the rebound. It's going to go against Eddie Lampkin.
So impressive Saturday against Miami with his 14 points, as you talked about, from the bench. I mean, he came in the game and was just confident from the very beginning of the game. You can see that spilling over here. As soon as he touches it, just drives it.
Lowe will inbound back into the lineup. So Pittsburgh will go with the 2-point guards. Leggett is out of the game. This is Zack Austin with the basketball as the Panthers now 0 for 6 from the floor and 4 turnovers. Austin can't leave him open from there. He's going to knock down that shot. One of the better 3-point shooters in the ACC at just a touch under 40%.
One of the best 3-in-defense guys that you're going to find. Shooting 39% on the year. Got to make a decision when he's involved in the ball screen. If you switch or the hedging recover. If you hedge and recover, you got to get home.
Davis now working on Delilich. Turns into the double team, and the foul is called against Horan. I wonder, Randolph, at this point, Pittsburgh falls behind 9-0 as we take a look at the Zack Austin 3.
Again, you see that ball screen as a hedge. He's trying to recover. Carlos does a good job of showing Jair Davis just late on the closeout, and you've got to get to Zack Austin. And again, that's that overpowering the guard play. And if you can't Horn, you got to be careful, because if you rotate over, there's no one on that weak side that blocks out Eddie Lampkin.
So one thing this Pittsburgh team is lacking is that true alpha on the roster. Jeff Capel has talked about it. You know, last year that was Blake Hinson. He actually addressed the team by Zoom a couple of weeks ago, trying to get them going. And, you know, if you don't have that, where do you turn if you're Coach Capel? Because you do have to self-police. You do have to have it from at least one of your players.
Well, he has guys who do the work physically. It's just the vocal leadership that you're looking for. And, you know, no matter what you have, you can't force guys to be more vocal when you want them to be leaders that way. It's just guys lead in different ways, but obviously having someone that kind of combines it all is ideal.
Chris Bell, Peter Majstorovic into the game for Syracuse. Corin sets the screen. Cummings knocks down the shot.
Jeff Capel told us he wanted to reward these guys, Cummings and Delilich, for the freshmen, for their energy and great play in Saturday's win over Miami. They're showing him that they're starting to earn the trust of their head coach.
Carlos works into the corner, and he's fouled by Corin. And so now he's got some foul difficulty. Not a fan of the call that was made by Teddy Valentine, one of our 3 officials tonight. Doug Shows and Bert Smith, the others.
And that's a big foul, because he's been playing well offensively. We talked about the win over Miami. He had 17 points himself in a double-figure game score. So not only did he need him just for defense and defending Eddie Lampkin, they need his offensive production.
And so he sits down with 2 fouls. Naheem McLeod has replaced Lampkin. Papa Amadou Conti is into the game for Pittsburgh. Chris Bell from the corner for 3.
Now that's a freshman mistake by Cummings. McLeod is rolling. He's not an offensive option for this team. So unless he's open for an uncontested layup, that's twice Panthers are late on that closeout here, as we have the 5th turnover here in the first half.
Second steal for Jaquan Carlos. And the senior from Brooklyn makes it a 10-point Orange lead. And one of the things we heard during shoot-around earlier today from Tim O'Toole, Pittsburgh assistant coach, was when Chris Bell comes into the game, your antenna needs to go up. Cummings didn't get the message on that last trip. Delilich, no. And McLeod at 7-4 with his first rebound. Starling head up, lob it toward the rim. Not sure if McLeod didn't see it coming or if it was just a bad pass.
Well, he's just not expecting it. I don't know how you throw it over the head of a 7'4" center. That's probably what J.J. Starling is saying. Just put your hands up.
Bell grabs the low miss, and Starling brings it up. And again, the Orange playing without, as we've got an offensive foul against Majstorovic. The Orange playing without Elijah Moore, who has had a nagging toe injury. And so the Orange bench a little bit shorter. Pittsburgh also without Damian Dunn, whose season has been put to a rest. There is Moore's got a walking boot. And they are hoping he just misses this one game. Dunn, meanwhile, with that elbow injury, is done for the season. When they got back here after their long road trip, was evaluated, and he will not play again for the Panthers this year. Cummings a little short. Majstorovic missed Bell, who was up in the front court by himself.
You talked about Damian Dunn. I don't think the Pitt team has ever really recovered from his injury from the early part of the season when they've struggled out the gate.
Austin blocks the shot out of bounds, and so it'll be Syracuse basketball. We enjoy sports so much. The first time they played just 3 weeks ago up in Syracuse, Pittsburgh turned it over only 3 times. They've already got 5 turnovers. And a Syracuse team that does not force turnovers. They average fewer than 5 forced turnovers as Bell hits the 3. They've already got 4 steals.
They have, and just another basket there. Baseline out of bounds execution, and for Syracuse, you see Chris Bell knocking down 2 threes for a guy that's struggling behind the 3-point line. Only shooting 33% after shooting over 40 a year ago. Great to see him knock down a couple.
Although he has been trending in the right direction lately. And again, the antenna for the defenders needs to go up when Bell is on the floor.
You got to know that. And again, great play coming out of baseline out of bounds, but you've got to lock and trail against him and force him to put it on the ground.
So they started the game with a 9-0 run. This is now an 8-0 run as Lowe crosses Kyle Cuff, who's just checked into the game. McLeod above the crowd for another rebound.
And that's a difficult matchup right now that Guillermo Diaz-Graham has to win that matchup. Knock down a shot. Get McLeod out of the paint.
Lob it into Majstorovic. He's got a huge size advantage as well against this current Pitt lineup. Good ball movement to find Bell one more time. And when he's rolling, he's as good as anybody in this league shooting the basketball. It's a 16-point Syracuse lead. Back to the Pete in 30 seconds.
expect to see Pitt make an adjustment with their defensive coverage. Right now, they're switching ball screens, and Syracuse is attacking that switch here early. The bigs are getting it. Pitt's just chasing and scrambling. Carlos drives a closeout there and finds Chris Bell for his third three here in the first half. And it's a stunning start here for the Pitt Panthers. Just no answers defensively and offensively. They're just been really bad on the offensive end of the floor. That's been contributing to this.
A 9-0 run to start, an 11-0 run right now for Syracuse. Bell's going to be called for the forearm that pushed Cummings out of bounds. Well, Pittsburgh has lost 4 of 5, 8 of its last 11. This is a team that was 12-2 at one point, ranked 18th in the nation. And it can't be as simple as the Damian Dunn injury, right?
No. It's a big part of it early on. I think he was in the starting lineup. He was a double-digit scorer. And it made everyone else's job easier. It put so much pressure now with him being out on Jaland Lowe and Ishmael. Leggett. And him being that third guy just created opportunities for everyone else.
Jaland Lowe has his first 3 points for a Pittsburgh team that has not scored 80 or more since the first week of January. The offense just hasn't been the same.
And Lowe, it's really good, scored over 22 points in the first matchup with these two teams. And his ability to get in the paint, he's got to turn it up and be really aggressive here on the offensive end of the floor and create opportunities for himself and his teammates.
Guillermo Diaz-Graham gets it back. Right place, right time for Zack Austin.
Great pass.
It's a Derek Whittenburg.
Good alley-oop pass there by Guillermo Diaz-Graham. And Pitt is capable of being a really good defensive team, and the Oranges had their scoring laws as well, so they're not out of this by any stretch of the imagination.
Carlos has it poked away. Shot clock down to 3. Cuff's going to have to fire. No. Tracked down by Bell. Inside to McLeod, and he has it blocked away. Austin thought about it. Now goes right to the rim. Draws the foul, and he'll have a chance for 3.
That's a big swing there. McLeod catches that at the rim. He's got to find a way to power through and finish. Pitt defense with the block, and then he come down, and Zack Austin splits the double team and drives, takes the contact with a chance and an and one here. But the best saying in basketball, after you get hit and finish, and one.
And one. And so Zack Austin, who spent 3 years at High Point University, who earlier in his career joined the great Shane Battier as the only players with multiple seasons of at least 60 blocks and 60 made threes. He was the Big South Conference Rookie of the Year and has been a really nice addition the last couple of years for Coach Capel and his staff.
I think he's a guy that you'll see playing on someone's roster next year. One, because he knows what he is. 6'7" guy, physical, athletic, defend every position on the floor, and improved his three-point shot so much.
Wow. Chris Bell trying to dunk over the defenders. That goes against Guillermo Diaz-Graham, and that is the team's
Chris Bell,
foul.
known as a three-point shooter, turns the corner and tries to put Diaz-Graham on a poster.
Well, he has shown flashes of his athletic ability over the course of the last 3 years. When he went for a career-high 30 against Louisville last year, he had a chase-down block that shows you he can do that. He has dunked on people before. It just goes away for games at a time.
Well, I think some of the issues was just where his role was a year ago. Having multiple attackers a year ago that could score off the bounce.
Well, he has certainly come with a purpose tonight here at the Peterson Event Center. 11 points for Chris Bell, made 3 threes and then those 2 free throws to get the lead back to 11.
As you know, he had Judah Mintz a year ago, and he was such an offensive force. You combine him with J.J. Starling, that backcourt drew so much attention and focus. Chris Bell was a recipient with a lot of threes, and like we talked about, he shot over 40%. Off to a hot start here this first half.
Eddie Lampkin back on the floor for the Orange, as is Jair Davis, working along the baseline. Up and over the 7-footer. Lampkin on the offensive glass has it poked away by Austin, and here come the Panthers. Lampkin gives up the foul at midcourt. In an effort to stop the break.
Other people's hands, and you want to control your own destiny. This team had control. Now they're outside looking in. They have got to take care of business with their remaining schedule, and more importantly, you've got to take care of business here tonight. I mean, this has just been a really slow start, sloppy with turnovers, and they're starting to pick things up here on the defensive end of the floor, and it's carrying over to the offensive end.
Well, tell you what, Randolph, this is Saturday's men's basketball tripleheader on ACC Network. Georgia Tech and BC start the day at 2 Eastern, followed by Chase Hunter and number 18 Clemson in Dallas taking on SMU, and Virginia Tech Miami cap off what should be a tremendous day of ACC basketball. With Randolph Childress, I'm Doug Sherman. Glad you're with us here at the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh. The Orange have been in control right from the start. They scored the first 9 points of the game. The Panthers have made a little bit of a push, but Syracuse with the basketball comfortably up by 9. Majstorovic will give it a shot from 3 and bury it, and a foul on the rebound. And now Teddy Valentine, I believe, is waving off the foul.
He's waving off the basket. No
foul.
No foul. So guys just got tangled up. He tells us Pitt's got to be more aggressive and decide how they wanted to defend. They were originally switching the ball screens, and the Syracuse were taking advantage inside. That time they hedged it, but you let the defender get too deep. You can't get back out to a shooter. If you're hedging, you got to get up to the three-point line. Right now, they're kind of caught in between, almost a step slow. They just sluggish.
So that Majstorovic 3 stands, just his fourth made triple of the season. Cummings with a block shot. Here comes Leggett at the other end. Starling got a piece of it. Pittsburgh keeps control. Cummings, Lowe, Leggett around the perimeter with Austin and Guillermo Diaz-Graham. Lowe, the step back 3. You're shaking your head, Randolph.
I think he settles. He's got to get in the paint and create opportunities for himself. He's got Majstorovic on him. Get in the paint, force rotation.
Now, Majstorovic did the right thing coming out to try and force him to his right hand, because he always goes left. And that led to the settle, you think?
Yeah, he's just on the side of the floor, so he's keeping him out of the middle.
Guillermo Diaz-Graham with another rejection.
If you're Pitt, stop settling and get to the paint.
Well, Leggett with the mid-range game.
They're trying to extend their pressure defensively here after a made field goal, just to get them going a little bit. For token 1-2-2, they're going to fall back to their man-to-man and just guard a guy and defend.
Starling lines it up. A little strong. Majstorovic after it, rips it away from Leggett. After glancing at Bell in the corner, Starling brings it back out. Just under 10 on the shot clock. Now he finds Bell. He's shot ready off the front rim. Leggett with it.
Pitt's got to go. Just everybody just kind of standing around here.
Leggett with his second consecutive 15-foot jumper. And the Panthers are back within 8. That draws a timeout from the Orange and their head coach, Adrian Autry, who has seen a 16-point lead trimmed in half. Ish Leggett out of St. John's College High School in Washington, D.C. going into his bag, showing the mid-range game. Randolph is not dead at all.
No, he's just comfortable, and he's just a winner. I mean, whatever it takes to win, that's what Ish Leggett is. And his team is flat. He's missed his first 4 shots there. Gets away with a little push-off going left. Knocks down a 17-foot midi.
And he's having a really nice season. He's trying to join Ricardo Greer back in 2000 as the only Panthers ever in a season to average 16 points, 5.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and 1.5 steals per game. He has gone from 6th man of the year last season in the ACC to truly one of the star players.
He is, and like I said, just a really good two-way guard.
Davis blocked again. That is Jorge Diaz-Graham. Syracuse has only 3 seconds to get a shot up. Carlos puts it up, nicked the iron. Majstorovic comes up with it, finds Bell on the perimeter. He gets his shot blocked by Guillermo Diaz-Graham. Delilich hammered on his way to the basket. A frenetic possession for the Orange, and Pittsburgh just piling up the block shots.
The activity's picked up on the defensive end of the floor for the Panthers here, and I think Chris Bell thought he got fouled there and just was trying to get his shot. Officials starting to let him play a little bit, and Delilich just drives it, gets the contact, and gets himself to the line for 2.
So Delilich, the freshman from Bosnia and Herzegovina, makes the front end. Well, the number 9 Tar Heels highlight our Thursday night ACC Network women's basketball doubleheader. Carolina faces Georgia Woolley and Syracuse at 6 Eastern. And then Carly Wenzel and Virginia Tech host Stanford. Should be another great night of hoops. UNC's Alyssa Ustby injured her knee Sunday against North Carolina State. Don't know her status for that game, but they would certainly love to have their top scorer and top rebounder back for that game coming up on Thursday. 6 block shots already for Pittsburgh at this end of the floor, helping them get back into the ball game, down by 6.
Much better job by Pitt Panthers. They're more decisive in their ball screen coverage. They're up, showing at the point of the attack, and it does not matter. J.J. Starling raises up and knocks it down. When you're struggling, it's great to have a guy like that you can just give the ball to get your basket.
Around and in. And a glance to the heavens by Guillermo Diaz-Graham, thanking the man above for that bounce. 30-24 Syracuse. Starling. Majstorovic gives it back to Starling. Frees himself for a 3, and he's got another one. So the man who comes in averaging 25 a game over the last 3 is starting to heat up here late in the first.
When he's knocking down step-back threes, look out. Because he's big, he's physical, draws a lot of contact when he drives the basketball. Here, another turnover by the Pitt Panthers.
Yeah, bad pass by Lowe, and once again a live ball turnover. Turned into points at the other end by the Orange. This time it's Kyle Cuff.
Lead right back up to 11 points, and that's just an unforced turnover there. Just some sloppy ball handling by the Panthers early.
Bell and Starling both with 11 points to lead the Orange as we head.
Yeah. Not.
He's former Wake Forest Peterson Event Center, where Pittsburgh has been playing from behind the entire night. Comeback time.
Still early here. You want to close out and make a run here. You got 3 minutes, 25 seconds left. Expect them to extend pressure after the free throw here.
After making 2 free throws, the sophomore from Missouri City, Texas, takes a seat. And there is some pressure here. Ball comes into the hands of Kyle Cuff Jr. Back to J.J. Starling. Dangerous pass knocked away by Austin. Here come the Panthers. Austin goes to the reverse. You called it, Randolph. The pressure forcing the turnover, and the Panthers are back within 7, the closest they have been since 7-0.
Pitt's just been better when they've been active. Energy flying around, blocking shots, making deflections. I think they were just flat on their heels early on, but good opportunity there just to steal a bucket.
And the Syracuse turnovers starting to pile up after it was Pittsburgh that couldn't hold on to the basketball early. 2 to shoot. Bell takes a look at the clock and fires it up and in.
Chris Bell with his 4-3 here in the first half. Freshman mistake there by Delilich. You got to know Guys knock down 3 threes. Bench is yelling at you to get out in front of them. Contest the shot. Late shot clock and you're late.
Cummings wide open, missed it to the right. The ball pinballs around. About 8 different guys touched it. And we've got a foul on the floor.
Got to know, you got to run him off the line. That's what he does, and what Chris Bell's known for.
That foul was called on Kyle Cuff. And now Pittsburgh's in the double bonus. So Leggett, another one of the things he does very well, 82% at the free throw line for the former Rhode Island Ram. Spent 3 years in Kingston, Rhode Island, where he scored nearly 1,000 points. Cuff sits with the foul trouble between Lampkin and Carlos. As Leggett puts up another perfect swish. That's one of the great sounds in the world, to hear a basketball go through the net like that. You know it.
I love it. Got to be a basketball junkie to appreciate that.
Another dangerous Syracuse pass. Austin was playing defensive back, and they forced the turnover.
Pitt full court pressure again, creating havoc. Lucas Taylor may have gotten away with a walk, but he didn't get away with that 10-second call. Zack Austin in the back line looking like a safety.
8th Syracuse turnover. Delilich goes down the lane, puts up a wild shot, and Majstorovic clears the rebound.
That's an aggressive play by Delilich, but you got to drive to pass the basketball. Don't always look to score.
Taylor slammed down the brakes and buries another 3.
Wow. The Orange are knocked down 9 threes here in the first half. For Pitt, you got to make aggressive mistakes on the defensive end. It's a lot easier for these guys to play with the lead, and you're going under these screens. They're making you pay.
Cummings under control into the lane against the big guys.
Good move there by Cummings, getting deep, dribble penetration, playing off 2 feet.
Here goes Taylor after making the 3. Drives and dishes out to Starling. Good box out by Delilich, who dribbles up himself. Leggett gets to the basket, left it short. Delilich for 3. And a foul on the rebound as Starling is hacked.
Good possession there by Pitt. Got dribble penetration. Good unselfish play. Good look there. Just unable to knock it down. You need more offensive possessions like that. But their issues right now is guarding the basketball. Too much dribble penetration and rotation in their defense right now. And they're late getting closeouts. And the Orange are just hot from behind the three-point line.
Delilich had given Pittsburgh quite a boost in the win over the weekend against Miami. 0 for 4 so far in this one, just the 2 points from the free throw line. Seven on the timer. Starling trying to go to work. Uses the screen from Davis. Missed the 3. Majstorovic to Bell. And here comes Pittsburgh with time on the clock. 3 seconds. 2. Lowe pulls up from the free throw line. A huge closing sequence to the half for the Pitt Panthers.
Big opportunity there for the Orange. You get an offensive rebound. You don't hold it. You shoot. So do you play the numbers? Do you adjust your defense? We're going to find out. Or do you play the percentages saying, hey, we don't expect them to have another half of shooting the basketball this well? But make no mistake, Syracuse wants to control the paint.
Jair Davis, after a solid first half, now has 6 points and 6 rebounds, and the lead is 9.
The scary part for the Panthers is Eddie Lampkin hasn't been involved yet in the offensive end of the floor.
He had 2 points, 1 rebound after having 23 rebounds just 3 weeks ago up at the Dome against these same Pitt Panthers.
You saw that in the first possession there. They gave the Jair Davis the 15-footer because they're worried about Eddie Lampkin's presence inside, and You can see Syracuse making a concerted effort to start on the offensive end of the floor going into him.
Well, Syracuse has some potential foul trouble. Lampkin has 2. Jaquan Carlos has 2 fouls. Kyle Cuff has 3 fouls. And there's the difference between the first game and this one so far for Lampkin, who again was a big-time focal point of Jeff Capel and his staff during shoot-around. Has Pittsburgh done a good job on him, or is it the foul trouble or something Eddie's not been doing?
It's the foul trouble earlier, and the basketball's moving. Pitt's doing a really good job of trying to. The game plan was around Eddie Lampkin and guarding the paint, and then Syracuse comes out and laces you for threes, and look what you're giving up now.
Count the basket. Cam Corrin called for goaltending. Yeah, you saw the statistic there. Lampkin has 11 double-doubles. Only Cooper Flagg has more. But Eddie's got 9 double-doubles in Syracuse's last 12 games.
And here, just the ball coming out of the double team easy, and someone's got to help Cam Corrin rotate back. He's hedging the ball screen. Someone has to help him.
Lampkin was so good the other day against Carolina. Ish Leggett with a chance for 3.
Ish Leggett again. He's knocked down a couple mid-range. Hesitation there. Gets into Jair Davis's body, and the famous line, and one! You get to yell. Gives you a chance to communicate with coaches. You get to the line. And
foul number 2 on Davis. He stays on the floor. And the and one is the completion of a 3-point play for Leggett.
Pittsburgh has not handled his full court pressure well.
Lucas Taylor from the corner. He's one of the 4 Syracuse players with a 3-point make in that first half.
Now, you don't force a turnover off the pressure, but you force a quick shot. Great reversal here.
Leggett makes them pay. The Panthers back to within 5.
And for Syracuse, you got a decision to make. You've struggled against this pressure. You attack, you get an open look. If not, run your offense.
Carlos with a rhythm 3 from the head of the key. That snaps a 6-0 Pittsburgh run.
Love the aggressiveness by the Orange. You don't let up. Teams pressure, break the pressure. Get an open look, you take it.
The senior from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, has 3 more. Zack Austin with a dozen.
The offense is picking up for both teams.
Well, Jeff Capel told us earlier today that Blake Griffin, when he was the head coach at Oklahoma, is easily the best athlete he's ever coached. But he said in his 7 years at Pittsburgh, Zack Austin is the best athlete the Panthers have had. If he can combine that with the shooting skills that we've seen, he can be dynamite. Starling around and out.
Lucky there by the Panthers. Too much dribble penetration.
Lowe, wraparound pass. Austin off the shot fake. Ventures into the paint. Up and over Taylor, but it rims out. Here come the Orange back the other way. Carlos with it. The big fella clears some space for him. Now Lampkin takes the pass, and he is fouled. And if you are Guillermo Diaz-Graham, you're 7 feet tall, but you're only, and I say that in quotes, 225. What on earth are you supposed to do to try to keep Eddie Lampkin from getting where he wants to go?
Nothing he could do there. Just buried. You can see Eddie Lampkin. Eddie Lampkin rose him to the rim and just post up. But again, you see there, the ball is just getting too deep. And this is what Syracuse wants to do.
Now Corrin is going to be called for the foul. That's his 3rd. And really, Corrin is the only guy in this Pittsburgh roster who has a fighting chance, size-wise, to hang with Eddie Lampkin.
Yeah, you want to have Cam Corrin out there, because if not, the alternative is Papa Conte, and he's not the offensive threat Cam Corrin is, and he hasn't. Foul trouble has limited him tonight. Just can't find the rhythm on the offensive end because he's foul trouble, and not when he's frustrated. But Eddie Lampkin is going to try to get to that left shoulder. He's trying to take it away, but he will spin baseline.
Now Pitt goes small with Cummings replacing Corrin. Out of the double team, ball finds its way to Carlos. Great shot fake. Finds Starling floating to the corner. His line drive 3 is grabbed by Lampkin, who smartly saves it off the backside of Leggett, so it'll be Syracuse basketball underneath.
You're watching. This is, I think I always say when a guy does something really well, there's superpower. Eddie Lampkin's hands and vision is his best asset. He's just so comfortable in how he needs to play. Uses his body really well. Just shields off the defender as he will here to get the inbound pass.
He was a 4-star recruit coming out of Morton Ranch High School in Houston. He played for former Pittsburgh head coach for Jamie Dixon 3 years at TCU before heading to Colorado, and now at Syracuse. Here goes Lampkin with 5 on the timer. Got himself under the basket. Starling beat the buzzer. Lowe has it poked away to Davis. He attacks and misses. And again, Syracuse continues to impose its will inside, but back the other way comes Pitt. Cummings dump it off. Leggett out to Lowe. Guillermo Diaz-Graham able to tap it out to Austin. 4 minutes gone in the second. Pittsburgh down by 5 with the basketball.
Both teams are fighting hard, giving themselves extra possessions.
Leggett, no. And it'll be Pitt basketball when we come back. The Panthers played here a couple of times back in, what was it, 1928 and 1930, before they built what was then the brand new state-of-the-art Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Here come the Panthers. Down by 2. They trailed in the blink of an eye 9-0, and they've almost come all the way back.
Look at the difference in their defensive pressure now. It's a 1-possession game.
Taylor quiets the zoo for now and snaps another mini run.
It hasn't been pretty, but again, the Orange aren't going anywhere. If you Pitt, just continue now, stay aggressive, both ends of the floor. They're going to attack Eddie Lampkin in ball screens here. It is so big because, again, Eddie Lampkin is going to be in drop coverage, and Guillermo Diaz-Graham is going to have that shot all game long. He needs to knock that down, and again, the dribble penetration and ball movement. Lucas Taylor, the number 3, with the 3 ball in the corner pocket.
Syracuse has already matched its season high for made threes with 11 on 22 attempts. Bad pass into the third row. 5 different Orange have made threes, led by Chris Bell, who remains on the bench. He came off in the first half with a huge spark as the Orange opened up what was a 16-point lead.
At some point, we talked about defensively with Pitt. Did you change? If they're going to continue to shoot like this with the season on the line, expect an adjustment being made. Maybe they got to switch 5.
Cummings picks the pocket of Lampkin and then throws it away.
Sometimes in the course of a season, when you're playing like this, you're playing hard, but there's so much on the line. Just want to make a play. That time, just a little bit too much. Just out the reach of Lowe.
And I saw on the replay, actually, Guillermo Diaz-Graham was the one who poked it away from behind. Starling drives on the bigger defender. Wide open Taylor one more time. A little strong off the back iron. Pittsburgh with the basketball down by 5. And Chris Bell has come to the scorer's table to check in at the next stoppage for Syracuse.
This is where if you Pitt, continue to move the basketball. You don't have to force anything.
Austin able to shoot right over the top of J.J. Starling, who is closing out in the corner.
This is a great lineup for Pitt. You're going to get a chance to put Eddie Lampkin in the ball screen, and they got multiple guys. You got a shooter in Zack Austin, but the 3-guard lineup all can attack off the bounce to create opportunities.
Austin 6 of 7 from the floor, 15 points to lead Pitt. Starling has it taken away. Off the steal, Jaland Lowe, end to end, and we are tied at 51. Carl Krauser and the Zoo love it.
They want it on the defensive end of the floor. Jaland Lowe picking the pocket, going down, laying it up. We have ourselves a tie ball game here in the Zoo.
So much a game you need to win as much as you can't afford to lose it.
Right, and it doesn't care how it happens. Just got to find a way to get a win. It's 1 point, 10 points. Dug yourself out of a 16-point hold here.
But 6 weeks ago, Pittsburgh was ranked in the top 20, and since that time, they've lost 4 of 5 and now 8 of 11. But the season is not all lost. That personal foul on Guillermo Diaz-Graham. He is the second Panther to get himself into foul trouble now. That is his third. And the other man in foul trouble will replace him, Cam Corrin.
With Eddie Lampkin out of the game, gives Cam Corrin a chance to play the game and not feel the physical overmatch with Eddie Lampkin in the post.
Majstorovic sets the screen for Carlos. Chris Bell had the big first half, now into the game. And he throws it away, giving Pittsburgh a chance for its first lead of the night.
It's a great possession there, in particular the freshman. Bieber Cummings closes out, forces Chris Bell to run him off the line, a shot fake there, and make a decision off the bounce, which is not his strength, and creates a turnover.
Leggett to the rim. Corrin has to come down with it and has to throw it to Carlos. Jaquan Carlos absorbs the contact, and the foul is going to go against Zack Austin, who is pleading his case to no avail to Bert Smith. Second foul on Austin.
A lot of times you're caught in between. Do you keep it, go out of bounds, you can set your defense. He decides to throw it in bounds, and Jaquan Carlos drives it, takes the contact, and a chance to go to the line for 2 here.
This is Saturday's men's basketball triple header on ACC Network. Georgia Tech and BC start the day at 2 Eastern, followed by Chase Hunter and the 18th ranked Clemson Tigers in Dallas to take on the Mustangs. And Virginia Tech against Miami will cap off what should be a fun day on Saturday. Carlos puts Syracuse back in front with a pair of free throws.
Listen to you Tigers with Mustangs, with Clemson Tigers coming into town. It's a big win for them. Opportunity to increase their resume.
Low, tough shot. We're tied once again at 53.
They've done a really good job of keeping Jaland Lowe out of the paint, which sometimes seems impossible, but not that time.
Carlos leaves his feet. Bell's open in the corner. Majstorovic after the offensive rebound. Out of bounds. Syracuse will keep it.
Press the issue a little bit, creating opportunities for himself and his teammates by getting in the paint, doing what he does best.
No J.J. Starling on the floor for Syracuse as Carlos attacks, missed the left-handed layup. Here comes Cummings as Pittsburgh tries to take its first lead of the ball game.
Good decision by the freshman. Drive it, don't force anything.
Cummings can't convert on the scoop shot. Here comes Syracuse quickly the other way. During that last timeout, Pittsburgh assistant coach Milan Brown challenged Cam Corrin, got right in his face.
I think he's trying to tell him he's got to get back and rebound the basketball. He's got to get inside. He's the only one that can physically match up with Eddie Lampkin, and he's got to try to track down a couple of loose balls there.
There's Milan Brown, the former Howard Bison. And like everybody else seemingly on this staff, former head coach at the Division I level.
Great staff, great experience.
Eddie Lampkin with a big and one.
Got to play through him, I think, if you're the Orange. You've done a great job shooting the 3. But if you want to close this one out, you got to find number 44. He just scores in a variety of ways. Sets the ball screen, great hands, great vision, we know. It's just not much this Leggett can do there, being buried under the rim.
Call number 2 on Leggett. Yeah, the guy who sets a good screen is usually the guy who gets open, right?
And with him, if you got to help. But that's their best play, I think, with having any guard, particularly if J.J. Starlings, who's not in the game when he's in, that middle ball screen with Eddie Lampkin forces you to rotate.
Lowe defended by Taylor. Now picked up by Majstorovic on the switch. Lowe wants a clear out, step back with a long two that rattles out. Syracuse gets the stop.
They're conceding jump shots to Jaland Lowe. It's because he's so effective at getting in the paint and creating opportunities for others. This team, the other guys usually need his penetration. They're doing a really good job of conceding jump shots to him and making him beat them from three.
Now Lowe's only a 29% shooter from three on the season. Cummings gives it back to Lowe.
It's got to go. It's got to go. It's nothing that
right around Leggett.
There's no resistance there. No hesitation if you're Lowe. There's zero chance of Eddie Lampkin stopping you off the dribble there.
10 minutes to go here in the second half. There's the double team. Pass knocked away by Cummings. Carlos retreats and has it. Now Syracuse has to hurry a bit. 11 on the timer. Majstorovic from the top of the key. Pittsburgh gets the stop and has a chance to take the lead.
That's the rebound they want from Cam Corn. Just go in traffic, two hands strong.
Leggett. And Pittsburgh has its first lead of the night.
If you're Pitt, you got to just keep battling.
Majstorovic coughs it up. Leggett lobs it to the rim. Corrin comes down with it. Goes strong. Plus the foul. Cam Corrin accepts the challenge and gives Pittsburgh a 4-point lead.
And this is why he's so important. As you see, his Leggett going under the ball screen. You can't do that. Throw the numbers away. When the game is on the line, he's a money player. But Cam Corrin has struggled all game long, foul trouble, but he's a lob threat, and his activity on the glass and around the paint creates problems for opponents. He's just been slow to get in this one, foul trouble. He's been challenged here last TV timeout, and he's come out and he's answering the bell here.
The 6'10" junior from Allen, Texas, spent a couple of years at Florida State for Coach Hamilton. Was hampered last year by a broken toe, but he has been really solid this year for Pitt. His father, Richard Corrin, was a 6'6" forward back in the day, a 2-year starter for the Georgia Bulldogs. Offensive rebound for Pitt. If Leggett can come up with it, but he can't.
You like the effort. Ball's on the floor. Go down, get dirty. Don't come up with it, but they're competing.
Over the last minute 15, Pittsburgh has outscored Syracuse 7-0. There's the double team as they worked on it earlier today to get the ball out of the hands of the big fella. Inside Davis. Denied. At the rim by Austin with another block shot.
You're going to have to give multiple efforts because you're going to have to double Eddie Lampkin.
Danger zone for Syracuse as Pittsburgh, in the blink of an eye, has taken a 7-point lead.
Pitt starting to figure things out here in the second half. They're getting stops. The activity on the defensive end of the floor is turning into offense. Pitt trying to pull away here. Graham. I mean, he's not known for a shot blocking ability. Zack Austin's just doing what he's always done from that small forward position. But that's what you want. You don't have to be your best, but they got to compete. You'll see them try to run that middle ball screen. Catch Eddie Lampkin on that slip in the middle.
If you're Syracuse, where does it have to come from? Starling, Bell, somebody else? On cue, Bell was wide open, and that snaps the 10-0 Pitt run.
Great job by Davis attacking the switch. Eddie Lampkin trying to roll inside, and you got to tag on the help, leaving a weak side defender. Got to figure out a way to keep the ball out of the middle of the floor.
Basket interference. Corrin up above the rim takes away 2 points from Lowe.
You don't mind the activity. You want him active. Too deep, getting the ball there.
Lampkin left it short.
And Lampkin, you could tell he was sped up that possession because he's anticipating the double team coming. They've switched the defensive coverages all game long. That time he sped up trying to beat the double team because he got it so deep. The Syracuse now back in the often imitated, never duplicated Syracuse 2-3 zone.
Ooh. Corin took quite a shot to the shoulder or neck or head, inadvertent, but the personal foul is indeed against Eddie Lampkin.
Just gets it deep there, and Eddie Lampkin sees Jaland Lowe coming down to help and tries to get it off quickly. And
fourth personal foul on Eddie Lampkin. For the moment, he stays on the floor, but now Naheem McLeod will take his spot with 7:05 on the clock. Big difference in Lampkin's production 3 weeks later up at the Dome when Pittsburgh beat Syracuse. He had 23 rebounds, just a different angle tonight.
But the game plan was to attack him and put him in foul trouble, and it's worked. And I think it's just been, Pitt Panthers have been slowly just chopping away with this.
Cummings driving on Bell, able to finish through the contact.
McLeod at 7'4", you want him in stand between a ball and a basket. He's weak side there, and Cummings, the freshman, is quick. You see McLeod coming over late. He's got to get over. If you're going to be late as a big man, you got to block that. But big time play by the freshman. Draw the foul. And a chance for, again, the N1.
Yes, well, he got the matchup he was looking for. You could see licking his chops, and he gets 3 points for his trouble.
Are you saying you don't think he felt comfortable that Chris Bell could stand in front of him?
I think you're onto something. It's a 7-point Pittsburgh lead.
And now got to be JJ starting in ball screen actions.
Here it comes, long two. High up to the rim for the rebound, Zack Austin, who's been so good on both ends of the floor.
A lot of time on the clock. Syracuse doesn't have to go to the man-to-man yet, but they've got to find these guards on the perimeter for Pitt.
Leggett penetrates, bullet pass. Austin couldn't handle it, perhaps a little too hot, and Syracuse gets it back.
Great job of Pittsburgh getting the ball in the free throw line area. But you got to know when that ball comes to that cutter at the rim, the forwards are going to drop down.
Carlos tried to use a second ball screen and now throws it out of bounds. Jair Davis was his intended target, but the pass was nowhere near.
Got to be patient there by Carlos. Jair Davis with a mismatch inside. Just be patient. Smaller defender on him.
There you see the Pittsburgh run to take its first lead of the night. They were down by as many as 16 early on, behind a barrage of Syracuse three-point shots. The Orange has now gone more than 10 minutes since their last made three, and Austin just keeps building on that lead.
He has. He's been so good. Again, he's just been consistent on both ends of the floor, impacting the game with steals, block shots, and scoring.
Starling, Bell, got it.
Bell's been hot from behind a three-point line all game long. Knocks down his 6th three.
Leggett calls for the screen. Lowe penetrates. Still plenty of time on the timer from the logo. Leggett with a long three-point miss. And Bell is going to be called for the foul.
Great job by Guillermo Diaz-Graham. Tipping it back. Cummings chasing it down. Just winning plays when you need it. You're playing your seasons on the line. You don't get the ball. You don't stand and watch. You chase it down. Good tip. Cummings runs it down. Draws the foul on Bell.
So it's a 1-and-1. McLeod out. And Lampkin, who drew quite a reaction from the zoo just now when he got off the bench, will come in and play with the 4 fouls. There's Big Eddie.
As you can see, Pitt counters that by bringing Cam Corrin in. Smart move by Archer because it affects the bench, the rotation of Panthers, and Guillermo Diaz-Graham goes to the bench.
Those guys both with 4 fouls. Calmly, the freshman from Lincoln Park High School with a couple of free throws. He has now put together back-to-back really nice games, starting against Miami, coming off the bench here tonight against Syracuse. Starling uses the screen from Lampkin. An empty trip for the Orange, and now Pittsburgh can take its time up by 8.
Pitt lucky that time. Both defenders went with Majstorovic inside. Left J.J. Starling wide open, coming off the pin down. Unable to knock it down and take advantage of it.
Austin.
Why not?
A rare miss for number 55 in white. He has been so good tonight. Majstorovic to Lampkin. And he's fouled. Looked like it was before the shot. Austin got him up top. As they sort it out, we'll take a break with 3:45 on the clock. Pittsburgh. And I'd said before, Cam Corrin has 4. He's only got 3. Guillermo Diaz-Graham, Zack Austin, they all are playing with 3 fouls here in the final 3:40 of regulation. Starling spins. Leggett recovers, makes it a tough shot.
Great possession there. Fierce Leggett. Keeping J.J. Starling out of the paint is big time. It's a must if you want to beat Syracuse, and he did a really good job there. He rejected the ball screen, keeping the ball in front. More importantly, securing the rebound and finishing possession. How do you attack the zone? Syracuse zone, you want to get it to their free throw line.
Bell with the basketball. Orange down by 8.
You don't have to have a 3, but you got to do something. Basketball. Get it inside to Eddie Lampkin.
He starts from 15 feet away from the basket. Starling tries to force that pass in, and Majstorovic could not handle it.
And this is where Syracuse gets into trouble because they're so reliant on J.J. Starling to create everything. That's a play you'd like to see Eddie Lampkin try to finish.
Turnover number 14 committed by the Orange. Cummings, a clean look from the left side off the back iron. Long rebound comes out to Lowe, and they reset the shot clock to 20. Adrian Autry calling for his team to come out defensively. Lowe just goes right to the bucket, drops a dime from behind his back, and Corrin able to lay it in.
That's what you're accustomed to seeing from Jaland Lowe, just getting in the paint, creating havoc, forcing rotation, dropping dimes or scoring, and won't find one any prettier than this. Splits the help, lays it off. Nothing Cam Corrin can do but finish that. Great find, great pass, and even better finish.
We were talking earlier today, Randolph. Is Jaland Lowe going to find his way onto the All-ACC first team? Second team. He's 5th in the conference in assists per game. Averages 16.5 points per game. That's 9th best in the league. He's number 7 in steals per game. Do you think he makes his way onto one of those teams?
I don't. I think that league is, I think, the easiest year to vote for all conference. I don't know how I think it's Cooper Flagg Player of the Year. You won't get much argument from that. Maxime Reynaud's first team. I think Chase Hunter, Chucky Hepburn, and Hunter Salas, in any particular order you want to put them. I think those 5 guys are all conference players. And so I don't know how you take them off.
You've got Lowe and Leggett.
Yes.
Do either of them make the second team?
I think they do. I think one of those guys will make second team. I mean, Lowe's deserving of it. He's been a heart and soul to this. And where would this team be without Leggett's leadership? And I know for sure one of them, if not both of these guys, will find themselves on the second team.
Pitt was still a lot to play for. And they're playing like it here in the second half. The assist from Guillermo Diaz-Graham, and Austin showing off the hops.
We talked about how athletic he is, and he showed you right there. Break the pressure there, help break it, the give and go. Great job kicking it in the stands, giving us a chance for the replay to talk about it.
Now he commits the foul. He's been a defensive menace. 3 block shots, 3 steals to go along with the 19 points.
Look at him. Look at this. Showing you why Jeff Capel said he's the most athletic player that he's had here for the Pitt Panthers. He's just made himself a player. Really improved his jump shot. Shooting just under 40%.
And now for tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Continental Tire. And indeed, it's the young man from your neck of the woods out of Winston-Salem Prep.
He is. And didn't shoot the ball as well as he did a year ago. He's always been a great athlete, really good defender. His improved jump shot and a true knowledge of understanding who he is and how he needs to play. That young man will earn himself a lot of money playing this game.
He's the definition of a 3-and-D guy, right?
He is. He is. His versatility on the defensive end of the floor is why he'll make a lot of money playing.
Lowe breaks the pressure. 1:30 to go.
Yeah, good luck trying to press him.
Majstorovic whistled for the blocking foul. Now folks here at the Peak can exhale. They start to sense this is going to be a Pittsburgh win that is, for their hope, gets things trending back in the right direction. On Saturday, Pitt snapped its 4-game losing streak with a win here over Miami. They did that without Jaland Lowe, who was in concussion protocol, but they have now put themselves in position to stay in position, if you know what I mean.
And great gamble by Jeff Capel. I mean, Jaland Lowe had participated in shoot-around that day and was close to coming back, but had he pushed the needle and had any setbacks, he would have automatically missed this game. They came out and those guys played really well. I thought it was probably their best all-around team effort, missing their leader. And they were able to get that win against Miami, and now the sluggish first half to come out in the second half and take care of business at home and keep their postseason hopes alive.
Well, they have shot much better this year at home. That did not look to be the case early tonight, but it has borne itself out in the second half. And that combined with a really good defense that has put the brakes on a Syracuse offense that was flying high. And the Panthers looking to run some clock. Timeout called by Coach Capel as Austin was bottled up along the sideline.
And the Panthers is not the team you want to foul, shooting 79%. So a lot of guys that can make free throws.
Yeah, that's 10th best in the country, tops in the ACC, as you mentioned, Randolph, at 79%. And once again, our Continental Tire player of the game, Zack Austin, doing it at both ends for Pittsburgh.
He has here, running the floor, finishing. They're driving with the N1. But it's this end of the floor. He's just been great all year defensively. And his improved jump shot made him such a valuable player for the Panthers, and running the lane, finishing, and kicking it up in the stands, giving us a chance to show the replay is why he's the player of the game. And you want your best players playing the best basketball late in the season, and he's been really consistent. I thought he played well earlier, particularly in the first half when Pitt struggled out of the gate.
And with his performance tonight, Zack Austin certainly has done his late mother Cynthia proud. He wears the number 55 to honor her memory. She died back in 2017 at the age of 55. Her son has done good again here tonight for the Panthers. Lowe is fouled.
He's a big reason why. Shooting percentage for the Panthers is so high. He's shooting 86%, hovered around 90 for most of the year. It's not the guy you want to put at the line.
Yeah, 4th in the league currently coming into the night. And it's been an adjustment for him this year, not having Bub Carrington in the backcourt. He has so much more responsibility that at times, at least early in the season, perhaps it was too much for him.
Well, I think he made too much of it. I think trying to fill those shoes, and they complement each other well. He was a big part of that turnaround. Bub struggled as well. And then he came into the lineup, and then they both just flourished. And then that's where the Damian Dunn injury has hurt Pitt, because he was a guy that took some pressure, added responsibilities from Lowe, and when he went down, I think Leggett and Lowe felt as though they had to do too much, and I think it hurt the Panthers at times.
Off the bell miss. Syracuse will keep underneath. 44 seconds remaining in regulation. We will get you to Virginia Tech, Boston College just as soon as we wrap things up here in Pittsburgh. Bell leads Syracuse with 23 points. Leads all scores, but the Panthers have had multiple weapons here in the second half. Lowe, Leggett, Austin, all in the high teens. Leggett's got 18, Lowe's got 17, Austin 19. Cummings as well has come off the bench with 10 points.
This team is starting to figure things out because, again, we talked about Delilich and Cummings coming from the bench. Capel didn't hesitate to put those guys in early. Zack Austin's been consistent all game long and held it down until Leggett and Lowe started to figure things out.
Jeff Capel's team about to improve to 7-8 in the ACC and 16-10 overall, with what will be a quad 3 win. So it won't enhance their net, which was 51 at the start of the night, but they've done no damage.
No, they've got to get ready to take this show on the road after back-to-back home wins. They go to South Bend to play the Fighting Irish next.
And I tell you what, of those double-figure scores, they've all delivered in the second half. Since the break, Leggett 12, Austin 10, Lowe 10.
And that's the way Pitt has to play. Share the basketball, move the basketball, and it's helped Leggett and Lowe because they don't have to feel as though they got to carry this team on the offensive end. They don't have to take 4 shots. Cam Corn struggled early with foul trouble, but Cummings, for this freshman, it's back-to-back double-figure games for him with 11 against Miami and 10 here tonight.
Well, atypically, Pittsburgh's struggling here late at the line. Fortunately for them, the outcome of the game is not in doubt at this point. Leggett gets 1 out of 2. He and Austin both with 19 points. Starling back to Carlos. Around and out. Leggett with the rebound, and that will do it.
Valid effort from the Orange. Not unable to continue the hot shooting streak behind the 3-point line, but if you're Pitt,